Welcome back everybody. Something a bit different today. It's a pickups video, but I've decided to film it a bit differently. Don't know if it's going to work. Rather than put footage in the corner, I thought as I went through them I'd put them in the console and you can see them on the TV, assuming they've got an attract mode. Some of them might not have, I don't know. But this is kind of an 8-bit special, if you like. It's all Famicom. NES, if you like. So if that's not for you, maybe you don't want to watch this, I don't know. But anyway, love the Famicom. I was a Master System kid. Never had a Nintendo. Brother got one a few years later, played on his, the odd game, liked the odd game. But for me, the Master System was always better. That's changed a lot. You know, much later years, I've had other NESs, still never really got into it. It's not until I got a Famicom I've really started to appreciate how good the Famicom was. And to my way of thinking now, it's much the better 8-bit console. I was missing out. But like I say, I didn't know anybody at school had got one. You know, I don't think they were certainly not popular in my area. But it's only with sort of hindsight and, you know, all this experience now of the Famicom, I've realised how good it is, and it's so much better, in my opinion, than the Master System. Far superior range of games available. It's kind of like the Spectrum Commodore debate all over again, isn't it, really? They're both awesome in their own way. I always feel the Famicom is kind of like the Commodore, in fact, in the way that the colours are much more muted. Just like the Commodore, compared with the bright, colourful, awesome colours of the Spectrum. You know, the colours and the brightness of the Master System is better than the Famicom. However, like I said, there's a far better range of games on the Famicom, in my opinion. Anyway, waffling on. So yeah, these are all Famicom pickups. That's from quite some time ago, if I'm honest. Still got no time. Just so much going on. I can't even tell you. Craziness. However, I can see light at the end of the tunnel. So anyway, that's why I was kind of, change is as good as a rest anyway. This setup I'm going to use today. I haven't got time to the individual footage. So anyway, it's on CRT obviously, so I don't know how well it's going to come out, but we'll see. Anyway, first pickup we've got Buggy Popper. As I've said before, I love the coloured Famicom carts. Nice green one. I haven't got many green. Can't remember how I came to find out about this. Just general research, I think. I've never heard of it. It's kind of an overhead, up this vertical racer stroke combat game, much like Road Fighter in a way. Really, really good. The difference with this one is it's got a jump mechanic, and as you can see, the car's jumping in the air, but you've got to sort of avoid opponents. You can score extra points for knocking them off the track and crashing into the side of the road, but with the jump mechanic, there's gaps in the roadway, and you sort of got to jump across the gaps at the right time. And there's also a petrol element where you run out of petrol, so you've got to make sure you pick up the petrol. It's very similar to Road Fighter. I don't think it's any better or worse, it's just a bit different. Both are fantastic. That's Buggy Popper. Next up, another racer. We've got Final Lap. I do like these Namco carts, and especially when they've got the top label on like that. This is a bit more of your simplistic 8-bit racer, to be honest. You know, your Formula 1 style game. But it's permanent split screen, like the Monaco games on the Master System, as you can see. It's also on the PC Engine. This I've had it. I don't think I've got it now. It's your typical 8-bit racer. It's okay. It don't do anything special. It's obviously better 2-player, but it's decent. Next up, we've got another Namco kart. Unfortunately, missing the top label, but this is Sky Kid. Love this game. I first played this, I think it was on one of the PS1 Namco Museum discs it's on, I think. This is such a good game. It's an arcade conversion, obviously. So I've been trying to get all of the arcade conversions on the Famicom. And I keep thinking I've got them all, then I find out there's a few more. So I'm still acquiring some. But this is so good, honestly. It's kind of a shooter, but they're very short stages. You just take off in this little plane. You can shoot the enemies along the route, and you've basically got to get to the end of the stage in one piece and land the plane. But that's easier said than done, because it's really difficult at times. Because they, you know, as soon as you hit one, you'll crash down. You can press the button to sort of evade the crash, but if you're too low to the bottom of the screen to start with, that don't work and you crash and you've got to start again. But there you go, you just land there. It's such a simplistic game, but honestly, it is fantastic. Love this game. Next up, another Namco game. We've got Karnoff. Now, I remember having this on the Spectrum way back when. I think my mate up the road bought it. I can't remember if I liked it or not, but I've since looked at Spectrum footage and it looks quite bad. But I got this, obviously, like I said, I'm after arcade conversion, so I had to get this. You're probably aware, but it's like it's kind of an action platform game. I don't know if we're going to get a demo. Really quite difficult again, this is. I don't know if I won't be able to play it very well from here, but as you can see, it's just a jump and fire. Looks quite nice. And you can collect these letters and it spells. There you go. You can like take 2 hits and you're dead. But that gives you the kind of general impression. It's not bad. I wouldn't say it was brilliant, but it's reasonable. I mean, the beauty of a lot of these Famicom games is they're really cheap as well. So I'm chuffed to have it. Like most things recently, I just haven't had time to play anything. And, you know, you've got to put the time in to get anywhere, haven't you? So, it is what it is. Next up, nice sort of aquamarine kart, Ice Climber. Obviously a Nintendo game. I think it's one of the black box games, isn't it, on the NES? I'd never played this. It was one I always fancied, because this kind of style game, sort of not really single screen, but kind of single screen arcade style game, is I'm banging into them now. I do really like this, but it does get frustrating, I find. Are we going to have a demo? There we go. You've just got to make your way up to the top of the screen from the bottom. I do really like it, but it's just one of them games. Well, I do anyway. I feel constantly frustrated by what goes on, but I do like the concept. I like the game. It is really good. That's Ice Climber. Right, next up. Now, I think a lot of people think this is the best game on the NES. I'd only ever played the Super Nintendo version, Punch Out. In this case, we've got Mike Tyson's Punch Out. This isn't particularly cheap on the Famicom. I don't know what the cost is on the NES, but I'm sure you've played Punch Out. I've got to say it is very good. I mean, I wouldn't certainly put it as my best game on the NES stroke Famicom, but it is really, really good. I've got to say, it's, you know, I mean, I always like the Super Famicom version, and this is equally as good. Obviously, the graphics just a bit more simple. How these guys go through, you know, one credits, beyond me. I found this quite difficult, but it's a good game. Here we go. Little Joe against whoever that is. Needless to say, I haven't got to fight Mike Tyson. But it's such a fun, sort of arcade style boxing game. I mean, I'm not into boxing, but this I can get on board with, and it's really good. Anyway, next up, Taito cartridge. We've got Operation Wolf. Obviously, everybody knows what this is. I'm yet to try it with the gun, but I've got to say it looks quite nice. I've played it with a pad and it plays all right with a pad. I haven't managed to dig my zapper out yet. It's buried somewhere. I'll get to it at some point. Obviously Operation Wolf's a classic. I can't honestly remember what the Master System one is like, although I've had it. But from memory, it's quite similar. There ain't much to pick between them. I'm not going to get a demo. But it's good, it's Operation Wolf. You know, it's good. Just show you the graphics and then we'll move on. But yeah, I've had the Master System one, but I've drastically reduced my Master System collection. All I've got left is what I had as a kid, basically. It's obviously going to be better with the zapper. But there we go, Operation Wolf. It is what it is. Next up, this is a bit of a, this ain't cheap necessarily. It's not like crazy money, but anyway, Tiger Heli. Or QQ Tiger, whatever you want to call it. Are we going to get a demo? Yes, we are. This is obviously classic vertical shooter. Available on, obviously it was arcade. 1989 Taito. And obviously there's a more up-to-date one on the Saturn. And there's also another one of these on the Famicom, the original one. It's good. This is good, I've got to say. I much prefer a vertical shooter. This simplistic style is much more for me. It's a good game. Like I say, it's not crazy dear, but it's not like, it's kind of a middle of the road kind of price. As you can see, it's got very typical 8-bit graphics, but it plays well. But like with any of these, as soon as you lose your power-ups, you're buggered basically. But if you can maintain them, it's really good. And you've got a choice of weapons, you know, like your typical red, blue, green colours for different weapon styles. It's really, really good. I'm really pleased to get this one ticked off. Because I've been trying to get all the shooters. There are a few which are crazy money, and I'm certainly not paying that. But this is within reach, so glad to tick this one off. Next up, Ikari Warriors. Nice blue cart. There we go. Obviously, sequel to Commando. I've never played this on anything but the Spectrum, I think. I remember having the big cardboard Spectrum box back in the day. That's one I've not rebought for the Specky actually. But I thought this is another one of these on the Famicom which ain't particularly cheap. Well, I decided to take the plunge. I'm not that crazy about these style of games, if I'm honest. Like Commando, Ikari Warriors. I mean, it's kind of the same, really. But I used to like getting in the tank on the Spectrum version on this. But it's all right, you know. It's what I expected, really. It's decent. I wouldn't say I loved it, but you know, it's all right. Much like Commando, really. I think the shining sort of example of this kind of game for me is Gunsmoke. You can't beat that. But nevertheless, this is good anyway. Ikari Warriors. Next up, I totally took a chance on this. I hadn't got a clue what it was. And it's a nice sort of crimson pinky cartridge. Really nice. And it's one of these that's got the real label with game graphics on it. Jalico card. Now this is Ninja Jarjamaru-kun. And this is really good. And this was dirt. This was like £3 or something stupid. So good. It's like a single screen platform arcade style game, where you're a character at the bottom of the screen, and you've basically just got to take out. It's kind of like Ice Climber in a way, because you knock out the floor to get up to the next level, but you've got to kill the baddies. All the ones that are on the screen basically spread throughout the level to complete the level. Really, really good. So simplistic, but a top quality game. And I've since found out there's a like a Switch compilation of these, because there's another one or two of these on the Famicom. And this Switch compilation has got all three on, plus like a modernised version of it as well. There may be more of that to come. Pickups, future spoiler. But anyway, I can't emphasise how good this is. This is a bargain for the money. Ninja Jarjamaru-kun. Right. Next up, Mega cartridge. Look at the colour. Fantastic. Super Mario USA. Now obviously, this is Mario 2 as we know it. This is one of the ones my brother had when he had the NES way back in the day, and I remember playing this after I played the first one, which I obviously thought was great, and I always thought this was absolute crap. At the time I didn't know it wasn't really a Mario game, but it's obviously why it's nothing like Mario. But anyway, I've obviously got the other Mario titles for the Famicom, so I felt I needed this one. Plus it's on the pink cartridge. And I've not played this in years and donkey's years. And I've got to say, although it's not a Mario game to me, it's a decent little game, this is. I do quite like it. I'm sure you've played it. So, really pleased to have this. It's really, really good. I just don't think of it as a Mario game personally, but, you know, I'd like the original Doki Doki Panic, what the game is obviously, but it's on it's a disc only game. I haven't got a disc machine. That's the one thing I'm on the fence whether to get a Famicom disc. I don't know. Anyway, next up, nice blue cartridge, another shooter. We've got ASO. The sequel of this is on the Neo Geo, which is a good game. I've never played this one before. This is another one that's not super cheap. You tend to find that with the shooters, obviously. I think it's the SNK. Yeah, the sequel's on the Neo Geo. I'd never played this original. It's not bad. It's quite simplistic and it's obviously an early game. But you can see from the style, you know, it's good. It's just, I wouldn't say it was amazing, but it's good and it plays all right and it looks all right. It's a decent game, and it's nice to have towards that, you know, the shooters that I'm hoping to get, all that's affordable, the affordable ones anyway. But it's good. It's a good little game. I do like it. It's just not that. It's not in that sort of, you know, awesome tier, if you like. Right, only one left, and we'll call it quits for today. I can't remember how I got onto this. I mean, I knew of the game. I can't remember. I think I played it somewhere, a different version recently. And I mean, I've played it before, but it was ages ago. And I used to have the Mega Drive version and sold it and regretted that. Anyway, I got Juju on the Famicom, which, if you're not aware, is Tauku. Yeah, I can't remember how I decided to start looking for this. Anyway, this is awesome. I think it actually might have been Steve, because Steve always goes on about the Switch Tauku. And that got me thinking I should never have sold the Mega Drive one. Door? Yeah, some knobhead at the door. Selling shit I don't want to buy. Thought it was something important like games. Yeah, so Juju, aka Tauku. This is another one of these that aren't particularly cheap on the Famicom. But honestly, this is so good. Really, really good. And it's kind of, there's some challenge, but it's not like crazy difficult, which, you know, tends to apply to a lot of this 8-bit stuff. It's crazy difficult. This isn't bad. You can get on with this. I can't tell you, this is so good. Honestly, really, really, really good. The only trouble is, it's obviously made me think you shouldn't have sold the Mega Drive version, you idiot. So, might be more to come on that as well. But I don't think this came out of Japan on the Nintendo. I don't think you can get it on the NES. I'm not sure. But I don't regret buying this for a single second. It is fantastic. But I think that'll do it for today. Don't know how this has worked out. It might be awful and nobody's watching. If there is anybody watching, a thumbs up would be nice. A comment would be even better. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you soon. Congratulations to the streamers on the on Gordon's channel last week. Awesome job, awesome amount raised. We've got Doncaster Gaming Market coming up in well, a bit less than 2 weeks now, so that should be good. It's always good at Donna. So yeah, let me know what you think about any of those. It'd be good to hear from you. Thanks for watching. Hope you're well. See you soon. Sayonara.